Hey folks, Crazy Climber 80 here again. And it's time we're going to look at game number 2 in our 20 from 1992 series. And this is a versus fighting game. It is the first sequel in the Fatal Fury series. It is also the second game in the 100 Mega Shock series in the NEO GEO library. And this is called Fatal Fury 2. And this was such a monumental leap in quality over the first game. Not that the first game was bad by any means, but wow, this was so much better. And here's your typical Neo Geo startup screen. Boy did I love this game. This was so cool, especially its opening scene here.
Again, legendary men return.
Boy, did this get my blood pumping back then. This was so cool.
Fatal Fury 2.
Man, the graphics were such an improvement. The music, the sound effects, everything was just so great. In addition to the original characters, Terry, Andy, and Joe, we now have an iconic sex appeal figure by the name of Mai Shiranui. She had rather big boobs that she'd flaunt. A lot of other really cool, interesting characters as well. And this game also had a desperation move that each player could do when they were running really low on energy. And that was also introduced in Art of Fighting, which was actually the first game in the 100 Mega Shock series, although it didn't advertise itself as such in the attract mode that I remember. You utilize all four buttons in this game. Two of them are for weaker attacks, weaker punch, weaker kick, and then the other two are for stronger punch and stronger kick. And by pressing the weaker buttons together, you can move to the second plane that was introduced in Fatal Fury 1. And you can use any attack to get out of it. And you can send an opponent to that opposite plane by pressing the strong buttons together. You'll do a strong attack and knock him in the background. And we are going to start against a guy that was actually in the first game, and he was Raiden. He is now known as Big Bear, and he's ditched his wrestling mask, but he still uses his wrestling moves if he gets close. He can do a suplex, he can choke you, all sorts of things. He may be big, but he can still be thrown by all the fighters. Terry and Andy and Joe all still have their same moves from the first game. Boy, do I love this. Note that at the bottom center it says level 4. If it says level 4, don't be surprised if that's a little harder than you'd like it to be. You will almost never be able to get your desperation moves off on level 4. Even on level 1, the opponent still might avoid letting you use your desperation attacks on them. And now see at the top right, his life bar is flashing red. He could use his desperation attack on me, and he didn't. But man, those backgrounds are really cool. It looks like some sort of auto show or something. It's got motorcycles and trucks, and the in-between scene before you face an opponent shows patrons at a bar. And it might be at the Pow Pow Cafe from the first game, watching the action that you're partaking in. And this is Kim Kapwan, and it looks like he's on a Korean college campus. And he's a taekwondo expert. He is very quick with his kicks, and he can kind of defy gravity. But generally, he's really quite easy if you know what to do. You can kind of exploit the distance that an opponent jumps. You can trick them into making a move, like attack them from far away and make them like jump towards you or something. Just bait them into coming towards you or doing something that you can predict and knowing how to counterattack it. Yeah, you can guard his his regular attacks coming at you. Oops. And then you can just attack him when he's... Whoops. He was lucky there. Then you can attack him when he's done doing his kicks. And if he does the jump in the air and land on your head with his kick, once he bounces off, then you can do that move, the burn knuckle. I saw this at the department store where I was working at the time, 1992, and yeah, I was hooked. It's a great game. Geese Howard is not in this. He's apparently dead still. He gets reincarnated somehow in the continuity. And here's Terry's younger brother, Andy. And Andy is in Italy, the canals. Just the level of detail is just so awesome for 1992. I was just so stunned. This is so darn cool. There was also a follow-up called Fatal Fury Special, in which they made the detail even greater and allowed you to play as all the bosses. And also, Ryo Sakazaki from Art of Fighting was a hidden character. Just, the music was just insanely good. SNK was really starting to show their muscle at this point. And of course there's a sister series called King of Fighters, and it has probably all the fighters from this game making an appearance somewhere. But yeah, Mai Shiranui really started to get noticed because of this game for her sex appeal, or for sex appeal in video games in general. And I wasn't turned on by it. I thought it was absolutely ridiculous that her boobs would bounce like that. I just thought it was funny. Cammy from what was it, Super Street Fighter? That was another story. She was she was pretty attractive. We'll get to that game one of these days. And now this is Cheng Sinzan, and he is a rotund Tai Chi practitioner, and he's also a super wealthy businessman. And this is a cool stage too. You're in front of this Riverside Casino in Hong Kong. Very cool. I used to like to gamble, but Keno and video poker are becoming a rarity in casinos, so I'm just not as interested. I used to love trips to Reno. A lot cheaper than Vegas, of course. Yeah, I don't usually use the weaker punch or weaker kick buttons. I'm usually using the strong attacks. And again, if you can kind of gauge or bait your enemies into jumping or doing something maybe they didn't want to do, then you can take advantage of that, especially with Terry's long legs with well-placed kicks. I hope you're all staying cool. It actually kind of cooled off in my neighborhood. It rained some, but there's still a lot of pollen in the air, and my allergies are starting to act up a bit. Yeah, Cheng cracks me up, his fat belly as he's bouncing towards you and rolling at you and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, Terry kind of changed his appearance from the first game. His hair is maybe it was always long. He's got cut off sleeves for his jacket. He looks a lot beefier in this game.
Bonus game.
Yeah, if you beat 4 stages, then you get to play the bonus game, and it has these pillars that pop up, and here is where you need to use that method of jumping into the background. These pillars can land on you and knock you over and cost you a little bit of time. But yeah, you'll need to use the weak punch and weak kick buttons together to move to the other plane. Oops, there we go. Ah, running low on time. There we go. Phew, just in time. This is Joe Higashi's stage, and we'll fight him eventually. It's in the Thailand swamps. And there's Mai Shiranui. Boobalicious Mai Shiranui. Her winning pose is she points her fan up in the air and her boobs bounce. It's very silly. She's super nimble. Don't underestimate her. Her weakness is jump kicking. If you can take advantage of that. She uses fans. She throws them at you. She swings them at you, and somehow she has command of fire when she swings her. Actually, I think she swings her outfit at you, maybe.
Okay.
Take that, busty bimbo. Yeah, some kids at the time that saw this game lusted after her, probably, but I preferred Cammy from Super Street Fighter quite a bit. Yeah, when you're close to the enemy, I think it's a strong punch is what you use to throw. With Big Bear, with his glut of wrestling moves at his disposal, you could probably use other buttons as well to do different wrestling moves, like a suplex or a backdrop or something. I'm looking forward to moving on to 1993. Already planning an opening or time capsules. Good timing. I could have used my desperation move. I had a hard time getting the desperation moves to work, so I didn't use them much. We'll see what they all look like a little bit later. Little bit of dialogue with you and your opponent. Yeah, there's Joe Higashi from the first game. I just love the look, the sound effects, the music. Man, this game blew my mind. And Fatal Fury Special is very, very good too. It brings back geese, if I can remember correctly. Actually, yeah, I had Fatal Fury Special for the Sega CD, and I thought it was a very good conversion. And there is Joe Higashi's desperation move. It's called a screw upper. The desperation moves take out about half of the opponent's life bar, or close to it. So you can really turn the tide with that attack. And like I said before, those desperation moves were in Art of Fighting, but you had to have enough spirit, or enough in your spirit meter to be able to pull that off. And there is a taunt move that you can use, and I think that's the D button. In Fatal Fury 2, of course, the desperation move can be pulled off anytime your life meter is flashing red. There will be some breakable crates or barrels, and we see fish that were in one barrel that we broke with our fighting, and the fish are jumping around as they expire. And this is the Judo Master, a very old short man by the name of Jubei Yamada. But he's super, super good at judo. He'll do a lot of slides towards you and grab you, and there's his slide move. He is a pain in the butt later in the game. I love that he destroys his own murals. His own I'm sure there's a Japanese name for them, and there's another one of his judo moves. He is a real pain in the butt. Oh, there was my Power Geyser, Terry's desperation move. Ah, damn it. Now there's my first loss. The final boss of this game, since it isn't Geese Howard, since he's dead at this point anyway, his name is Wolfgang Krauser. He's a German of royal blood, and he has his own palace, and he has his own orchestra playing in the background. It's so cool. So neat. He's got his own creek in the background where I assume he raises his own fish. Jubei. This game is so darn cool. Yeah, if you've never played the original Fatal Fury, play that and then play this, and you'll be like, wow, this is a lot better. And again, Fatal Fury 1 was not bad by any means. Juby, I used to think those were cookies that he throws. They're crackers. I'm pretty sure they were crackers. Because I think at one point they were referred to as senbei, and that's a cracker. Yeah, anytime you can get the opportunity to get close and throw your opponent, do so, but they are going to be more and more aware of that as the game goes on, and they're going to keep from being right next to you. Yeah, at the bottom center, I might have mentioned this, but see it says level 4. That might be too high. You might need to go into the game's settings and change the level and bring it down. Even at 1, don't rest on your laurels completely. Note that there is a second color palette for the second player if they're both playing or the computer player if they're both playing as the same character. Terry's alternate costume is purple. Kind of looks purple. Yeah, each character has two different colors. If you play two players simultaneous play, then you can only play one match. You can play as many as you want as long as you have credits, but you can't get further in the game, in the story mode or whatever you want to call it. And unlike Fatal Fury 1, you can't have two players ganging up on one opponent. Yeah, if you do some sort of attack from far away, even if it won't reach the opponent, you can fake them out into doing something that you can react to. Yeah, I like using Terry because I'm familiar with his attacks. Plus, he has nice, long, strong limbs. Yeah, that red jacket with the star is so iconic for Terry Bogard, although he changed it to a brown jacket later on in the series. And here's the second bonus stage, and it's very much like the first one, except if you try to go to the second plane, you'll hurt yourself on those clock gears, and I think this is supposed to be inside Big Ben in England. Yeah, you can still get hit by falling pillars or columns or whatever, and these are made out of brick, not stone. You can dash backwards or forward. No, just backwards by tapping the joystick backwards. This is the stage of Billy Kane, he was initially called Billy Kane, but they've since changed it to Billy Khan, I believe. And he was in the first Fatal Fury as a boss. And he's won in this game too. There he is. This time around, his pole can separate into a three-sectional staff, which is called a Sansetsu Kon. He's still kind of susceptible to jump kicking, although he does have a counter this time around. He doesn't use it as much as he probably should. Oh, that was a good move. I timed my rising tackle quite well there. Yeah, you don't want to underestimate anybody in this game. Really, you don't want to you'd rather not underestimate any character in any fighting game. But it's especially true of SNK fighting games. Other than maybe World Heroes, which was criminally easy. I did not have Fatal Fury 2 for the NEO GEO, but I had Fatal Fury Special, and that was a great sequel. Great follow-up in the series. Like I said, it's a lot like Fatal Fury 2, but there's graphical enhancements to the stages, certain things added to the stages. You can play as the bosses, and like I said, Ryo Sakazaki from Art of Fighting is a hidden character in the game. I forget off the top of my head how you're able to unlock him. And this time we're going to face the former heavyweight champion boxer Axel Hawk. And he's really tough if you're playing level 4 or higher. He is super fast with his attacks. And even if you think you have plenty of room to attack him, his limbs are very long, and his attacks are so darn swift. He has like a dash attack, and there's my power geyser again. I did it with him far away from me, so. Yeah, you can't play as any of the bosses, unfortunately. After this is Lawrence Blood, and he's a bullfighter. Axel Hawk's stage. If you get knocked backwards by a big blow or accidentally change the planes, you can land on that electrified rope and cause further damage and get shocked back to this plane. And you get a little hint of some of your moves you can make if at the continue screen. But I chose not to, so I'm going to put my initials in. But we will see fights with the rest of the boss characters, including the final one, Wolfgang Krauser. And it turns out he is actually like somehow related to Geese Howard. He's like a half-brother or something, or a step-brother or something. Legendary Men return. Oh, this was so cool when I first saw this. Music was so fantastic. 2. Yeah, I put on a cheat here so I could try to finish off Axel Hawk, but he's just so darn quick and is such long-reaching attacks. I gave myself infinite energy, and then I proceeded to beat him. I'm assuming this is like this is probably like Boston. I think it was East Coast. They show where on the Earth that this place is, that the stage is located, and it looked like it was on the East Coast of the U.S. And there is Lawrence Blood. He's very, very tall. I think Terry is supposed to be of average height, so a lot of opponents just kind of loom over him. I think Terry's like 5'8" or something. Lawrence Blood is a bloodthirsty Spanish bullfighter, and he uses his cape and he uses a sword in his attacks, and he's got very long limbs. He's very tough. And he also uses like there's another move that he uses, and he can knock you into the background with a very strong attack, and you can hurt yourself landing on the bulls that are charging by. I don't know what he says there. And there we beat Lawrence. With cheats, for sure. And the crowd cheers you on. Just like in the first Fatal Fury, the day changes between stages sometimes. It can be daylight in the first round, and then night in the second round. Really cool. And this time around, if you win, you'll get a firework display. We're scooting forward here. Cool. This game just blew my socks off. That was like I said, I was working at the department store where this game, where I first saw this game, and on my break, I'd pop a few quarters in. Yeah, he has a very, very cool palace. noble blood. He's wearing armor. There was an animated film called, maybe direct-to-video, called Fatal Fury 2, and it had a very good fight sequence between Krauser and Terry in it. And that is his desperation move. I put on a cheat to allow me to use my desperation move, even if I didn't have my life meter flashing in the red. And I guess that activated his ability to do the same. But it's not taking off half my energy because I have infinite energy. But Krauser is so freaking tall. He's like 7 feet just about. He just looms over Terry, and he's got super limber limbs. He's got fireballs that he throws. He can throw them high or low. Oh, I think he might have been been about to charge up his Kaiser wave. I don't know what he said there. You were perfect. I meant, I don't know what the hell he said there. You get a bonus for perfect, and it changes the further you get in the game. I'm sorry, I don't remember what the hell it is. Probably starts out as like 10,000.
Hey, Richard,
and there's Terry Bogard with, I guess, his girlfriend at Pow Pow Cafe. And there's Richard Meyer serving him up some food. But that is Fatal Fury 2, and I guess it's also called Fatal Fury 2 The New Fighters? Or something like that. But I thank you for watching. 1992 was a big year for me. I moved back to Oregon. I was living in Washington State for a while, and I moved back in with my folks in Oregon for a few more years. I moved out on my own, finally. I was into a big anime phase at around this time. They had a video store that opened up in that store that I worked, and I would rent a lot of anime and bring it back home and watch it. So I had extra appreciation for the anime-styled characters in the fighting games that I was playing. We will see screenshots, at least, of all the endings, besides just Terry's here. That is Fatal Fury 2 by SNK for the NEO GEO arcade cabinet. And again, it is the second in the not only the Fatal Fury series, but the NEO GEO 100 Mega Shock series. I don't know exactly what 100 Mega means. I don't think is it 100 megabits? I don't know. But yeah, here's the other desperation moves. Here's Jubei's. Pretty cool. And here's Cheng's. And here's Bear's coming up here. He breathes a big old fireball. And there's Andy's coming up here. Very hard to pull off. Maybe easier in the arcades than at home on your joypad. And there's Mai's. Bouncing boobs. And here's Joe's screw-upper again. And here's Kim Capon has the coolest one. Look at that. 100 hits in one. Well, here's the endings. There's Jubei's. The endings are kind of stupid, really. And there's Cheng. And Big Bear. And again, he used to be Raiden in the first game, and I'm guessing that's Jeff Bogard speaking from Beyond the Grave to them. And Mai's ending, and Joe Higashi's ending. He's singing karaoke, I guess. And there's Kim Kapwan's ending. Well, that was Fatal Fury 2, game number 2 in our 20 from 1992 series. I hope I see you soon for game number 1. Looking forward to it. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.